Hi. You keep visualizing, you keep saying the affirmations, you keep doing everything right, and yet it still hasn't shown up yet. Before you blame the universe or think that you're doing it wrong or something, you need to know. There is one thing that is silently killing your manifestations more than anything else, and the chances are you're doing it without even realizing. It's not your belief. It's not your visualization. It's not even your past trauma. It's this. You keep checking for it, constantly looking to see if it's working, measuring how far along you are, watching the clock, tracking the progress. But every time that you check, you're not trusting. You're signaling lack. You're saying, I don't believe it's done yet. And the universe, it mirrors that right back. In just a second, I'm going to tell you the exact metaphor that will finally make this click. It's going to shift the way that you look at every desire that you've ever had. But first, let's get really honest about the energy that you're putting out every time that you check for results. Think of it like this. You plant a seed in the soil. You water it. You nourish it. But the next day, you dig it up to see if it sprouted. And the next day, and the next day. And eventually, that seed dies. Not because it couldn't grow, not because it was laden with disease, but because you didn't let it grow. That's what you're doing with your manifestation. You plant the idea, but then you keep digging it up with doubt. Manifestation requires a pattern interrupt. It doesn't respond to begging, it responds to embodiment. And the reason the desire hasn't shown up yet is that because you're not the version of you who already has it? The version of you who already won't ask, where is it? They're too busy living like it's already here. So if you want to get it faster, stop acting like it's missing. Start responding to life as if it's done. Next, I'm going to tell you how your manifestation shows up the moment you forget about it, and why letting go phase isn't giving up, it's actually the final step. But first, let's talk about the identity shift that changes everything. When you stop being the chaser, you become the receiver. You stop forcing the timing, and you stop wondering where it's at. You stop letting your mood depend on the outside, and then suddenly, everything starts aligning. People call, opportunities appear, the random email comes through. Not because you chased it down, but because you became a vibrational match. So if you're tired, if you're frustrated, if you're on the edge of giving up, good. That means the old way is collapsing. It means you're finally ready to stop trying to manifest and start being the one who manifests. And that shift, that's when everything comes to you, my friend. Next, I'm going to walk through how to act as if it's already yours. Because what if the only thing that you need to change is believing that it already happened? Because maybe it did, and the reflection just hasn't caught up yet. So tomorrow, wake up like the version of you who already got the call. Dress like the version of you who already got the wire transfer. Move like the version of you who already lives in that new home, because that version of you already exists. And the more that you act like them, the faster your reality morphs to match it. You're not trying to get there. You're collapsing the time between here and there. So the next time you feel the urge to check the 3D, to check your reality, pause, smile. And remember that you wouldn't be checking anything if you truly believed that it was already yours, would you? If you had $1 million right now, $100 million right now, $200 million right now, Okay, let's call it $300 million. If you had $300 million in this moment right now, would you be wondering where it's at? Like, for instance, you have a bed, right? And a TV probably, or your phone. Do you wonder when it's gonna show up? Of course you don't. You know you don't. I know that you know you don't. So why do we do that when it comes to our manifestations? Because we have been so trained and programmed to look at the outside world and say that that is objective. And when we believe that the outside world is objective, we let it dictate our emotions. We let it dictate our belief systems, our perspectives. That's why we have to take the power back and prove to ourselves that we do create the reality that we want. You see it all the time. Think about it. In the past or recently or whenever, when you thought about somebody, they messaged you on Facebook, or they called you, or they texted you, or they emailed you, or you ran into them at the supermarket, right when you thought about them. And how many times have you said, I was just thinking about you? Why do you think that happens? It happens because the outside world bends to what we think about. More importantly, what we feel about. So when you think about someone, even for a second, even if the emotion is very small, you collapse reality into a reality where they show up. It happens to me all the time. What I'm trying to tell you, and what you should take away from this, is that in order to have the reality that you want, you have to quite literally be in a delusional state and ignoring the outside world. Because if you let the outside world dictate what you're thinking about, you're going to be thinking about riches, about love, about good health. But then all of a sudden, something happens on the outside because you're old programming, and you react to that. So you just negated everything that you just thought about. You get what I'm saying? You have to feel rich, even if your life shows poverty. You have to feel healthy, even if your bones are aching. You have to feel love, even if you're lonely. That is how you create your reality, and it's kind of hard. That's the work. But that's how you get what you want. So remember, you wouldn't be checking for it if you truly believed that it was already yours. It's okay to want it. It's okay to feel impatient. But just don't dig up your dream to see if it's growing. Let it bloom in peace, and instead use that energy to believe that you already have it even more. Because your brain doesn't know the difference between real or an imagined thought. So comment down below, what's the wildest way that your manifestation could show up? Comment your most outrageous, over-the-top version of how it would arrive. Let the universe know that you're ready. And like the video if you'd be so kind, and catch you when we align once again. Thank you for watching.